Welcome back with another banger. It's the React Files. Let's get straight to it.
Where do they go from there?
Cooler. Okay, my last video about Oprah blocking the entryway to higher ground through her private property got like 27,000 views, which is crazy. So I figured I would show you guys exactly what the map of Maui looks like. This red road here is where all the traffic got stuck. There were accidents, there were people panicking, they ran out of water. There was no other route to get to higher ground except here, which is Oprah's road. Now, she did not open this road for the majority of this chaos. People were trying to get through, but there's cops actually blocking them from coming in. She only let them in as soon as she was realizing that she was getting like shredded on the internet thanks to X/TikTok. So for those of you that did post about it, thank you. A lot of people are denying it, but I have spoke to so many residents and people posting underneath my posts saying that they were there and they saw this happen, including friends of mine. So Oprah, also, why do you own 1,000 acres of Hawaii? Okay, that should not be even accessible for you, especially if it's an escape route.
She's absolutely right. Shout outs to her. That's crazy. And it's totally unfair. Them people had to go all the way around when they could have just went through that one patch. Boom, straight to safety. I'm happy they caught that too.
Oh, mira. Se me ajudarem a estar com alguma coisa com ele. Caralho, mano. Tá caindo tudo, mano! Quebrar a porra toda. Tá só aqui mesmo, né?
Planes are falling out the sky every single day, and no media organization is putting it all together. By the way, wait till you see what I found. So we just had a Delta plane that just fell right out of the sky, hospitalizing 25 different people. And there's also 3 or 4 other planes that have happened in the last 7 days. Like the plane that just went down in Russia a few days ago, where 48 people were confirmed passed away. We also have the 3 people that just died from a plane going down in California. Quick question, are y'all old enough to remember when planes did not go down every single day, or is it just me? We'll be right back with what I found.
Begin with a Fox News alert. 25 people have been hospitalized after severe turbulence forced Delta airline flight, this Delta airline flight from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam to divert to Minneapolis.
Shanley Painter joins us now with what we know so far.
Hey, good morning. It was scary. Passengers saying everything was flying through the air.
And here's the thing. It's not just planes acting weird. It's people who are in planes. Like we had just a day ago, that guy who was in a plane threatening, that person who runs the United States. Also mentioning he was going to do something to the plane. And now 1000% unrelated, not relevant whatsoever, being pushed everywhere I see. 515-mile long lightning flash, a new record. Why is that weird though? Because that is from 2015. So why is it being pushed through the media everywhere? And again, completely unrelated. The frequency of the earth, human frequency, earthquakes, well, it's all going crazy, right? I don't know about y'all, but I'll be driving to all my destinations for now.
I'm with him on that one. I'm staying my ass on the ground. Shout outs to the real Moon Henry.
Next week, we will have the Lionsgate portal, August 8th, 8/8. Russia just had an earthquake, 8/8. If you ever go inside of a store and look at a digital clock, you will see 8888. What's taking place right now is called the Great Reset. Can you feel it? Anytime you see 88, the Matrix is trying to tell you there's no more time left. The Matrix is Father Time, and Father Time just ran out of time. So when you see reports like this, tsunami waves hit U.S. shores after 8.8 magnitude earthquake, there's a deeper meaning. This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. The earthquake that just took place in Russia is connected to Hulk Hogan. This man died at the age of 71, which is 8. Pay attention to the man name, Hulk Hogan. Look at the double H's. The letter H is the 8th letter in the alphabet. Hulk Hogan, HH, 88. Remember, they said this man was a racist. 88 is also connected to the Germans. It's known as 88, the hate code. Remember, 2 H's is 88. Hell Hitler, HH, 88. Racist, racist. Remember, when you see this, they're trying to tell you we have no more time left. When you look at this image, what do you see? I see an 8. When you see the ambulance ride down your street, what do you see? I see an 8. Anytime the media keeps speaking about 8888, they're trying to tell you that we are at the end of the story. The serpent ate his own tail. Did you know that there's 88 star constellations in our universe? We also have 8.8 billion planets in our universe that look just like Earth. Every year is 8.8 million tons of plastic inside of our ocean. Air pollution could be killing 8.8 million people every year. Did you know that we have 8.8 billion different species on this planet? However, it's only 1.7 million that have been identified. 1.7, a number 8. We have no more time in the Matrix. In the movie Back to the Future, they tried to warn you that time moves forward and backwards if you go 88 miles per hour. Same reason why they have 88 keys on a piano. Black and white, duality. We are really having a war between good and bad or light and dark. The people that control this world, they will be the evil ones and their time is running out. Don't forget, the so-called elites control Father Time or Father Time controls them. So everything is dealing with time. Anytime we go through a Lion Gates portal, we are going through an infinite loop. We can move forward or we can go backwards. This is not the infinity sign. This is number 8, sideways. Try to give people warnings and try to tell them that the Great Reset is taking place, but they look at you like this. In my ebook, I tell people exactly what's going to happen after the Great Reset.
Those them NPCs. Shout out to King Gaia. That's crazy. He made a lot of connections right there. Gotta give it to him. Yeah, that 88. Very interesting. Very interesting.
That 9/11 was a false flag.
For the first 10 years, I did not think anything other than the official narrative. Then, after being shown a close-up video of building number 7 coming down, and that got me going, because it's obvious to me that building 7 was a controlled demolition, because the building collapses from the bottom down. The trade centers were unique in that they were designed to withstand the impact of a jet. From what I understand, the outer skeleton of the building, the outer columns was like a fishnet, and you had these inner core columns which was substantial, thick steel beams to withstand 4 or 5 times what the loads were. The engineers always over-design a building. No steel frame building has ever collapsed before or since 9/11. So that should say something right there. And it said that building 7, it was a progressive collapse, that it was caused by fire. But progressive collapse, unlike the Twin Towers collapse from the top down. That's a progressive collapse. Floor by floor by floor. But if you look at the videos of building 7 collapsing, It collapses uniformly. It's collapsing from the bottom. The building stays intact all the way to the bottom of the ground, and you could see the sides caving in on it. For a building to collapse uniformly, which the videos show, all the load-bearing columns would have had to have failed simultaneously. Now, fire doesn't act like that. I came across an analogy of the Twin Towers, and if you could visualize cast iron stoves stacked one on top of each other. The stoves up at the top, yes, there's fire and they've been damaged, but the stoves on the bottom, they haven't been damaged.
Okay.
So the structure underneath all of that is intact. So it's impossible for a building to collapse near free fall speed and increase
without a controlled demolition.
You're running into the path of most resistance. So something else is going on. I don't believe that it was just the planes or the fires. I think that, and they examined the dust and they found what they call thermitic material, which is like an explosive incendiary, which was in the dust samples, and that's documented. There were reports of the buildings were undergoing an extensive elevator renovation in the 2 or 3 years prior to. All kinds of workers, they had access to the cores of the building. And on the day of the attack, the elevator company would not assist in the operations of the elevators. And the elevator company it subsequently went out of business. And a couple of years after that.
Why did they destroy all the bells after World War II? Because if you sit in a bell and someone hits it and it begins to resonate, you can begin to heal like that. All the bells you ever look up, and notice how all the bells have a crack in them and they're broken. I wonder why that is. There's intention to get rid of these things so that we're dependent on a sick care system. Because sound frequency instantaneously heals the body. Similar to chanting. If you any sound effect will begin to instantly structure all the body at the same time. That's what used to happen in the cathedrals. They would ring the bells or they would play the pipe organs, and all of the cells in the body would instantaneously become structured, which would instantly heal them. But they had to get rid of the pipe organs, which are made from lead, which is interesting, and they had to get rid of the bells, because both of those can heal people. Now imagine if a bell of the size of the massive bells we were shown was ringing in a cathedral, okay? Now imagine the frequency that would come out of the cathedral into the town. You could heal the entire town instantaneously just by ringing the bell in the cathedral. That's why they had to get rid of them. They had to break all those bells.
I'm not allowed to say certain things, but our world has more secrets than you think. Read our book, link in profile bio.
Alright, you guys, look at this. I got my voltage meter out, and I have the positive stuck in the ground there, and the negative in my hand, but I'm wearing my sandals, and that's the reading now. Now watch what happens when I ground myself. Take my sandals off and put my feet on the ground, bare feet. Get the reading. What a difference. Put my sandals back on. Watch it. Go back down again.
Yo, that's crazy. Shout out to the Pill of Truth. It's like the rubber from the soles completely shuts it off. Like, yo, that's crazy. That definitely shows the power of connecting with the earth.
I'ma just say it right now. Count me out. When you think these motherfuckers couldn't have one up, they always do. So these motherfuckers then built the world's longest undersea highway tunnel. And not only that, but it's motherfucking see-through. I don't know what motherfucker came up with this concept, but it does not look safe. You see motherfucking hammerheads and sharks and all different type of shit swimming right over your head. It only took China 4 years to build this motherfucker. This motherfucking tunnel stretches 6 miles long and is 33 feet wide. But not to mention that, it features 6 lanes going both directions. What the fuck? But this motherfucking tunnel has stunned engineers worldwide, saying that this motherfucker was impossible to build. Not to mention this motherfucker could stand a 8 magnitude earthquake. But they also say this motherfucker could withstand a 16 magnitude typhoon. All I'm gonna say is you ain't gonna catch me on this motherfucker. Again, count me out.
Yo, that's like the craziest tunnel I ever seen. I thought it was fake at first. 6 miles long, 6 lanes. Man, it gotta be more than 33 feet. And can withstand an 8-point magnitude earthquake? How convenient is that?
For the record, I haven't told him anything. Okay, just tell me what you see.
Oh my god, come on.
What the fuck? Holy shit. I just saw something. Yeah. What the fuck?
Oh, I see that. I feel it.
I've been under the influence of mind-altering substances a lot, but I've never seen anything like that. Whoa.
I showed over 100 people, and I kept asking myself, how are all of us seeing the same thing?
Oh my god. It's changing shapes right there.
The laser was revealing numbers and letters running in a pattern.
They're almost like this big here, and it looks like code.
It looked like
that was a thick laser.
That's why I told you. Something, and I just want to take a picture of it and translate it.
Wow.
You see that?
Okay, so yeah, it's not stuck.
No.
It's not because of the light.
No, it's on its own side. Light is just literally revealing it.
And each angle shows you different layers, different ways through it.
I can see through the wall. It's not like a hallucination. It has spatial awareness and permanence. I don't know. Whoa.
For centuries, mankind has attempted to explore these psychedelic, altered states, but...
Now that's a trippy experiment. I want to try that one myself. Shout out to Danny Jones. He said he could see through the wall, and how it kept changing. Were they forming their reality right there in the spot? Yo, it's trippy.
This is the terrifying true story that inspired the film The Long Walk. This film is coming out in September, and it's about a group of teens who are part of this government-run contest, where if you stop walking, you are executed. What I haven't seen anyone online discuss is there is something very similar that happened during World War II. This was called the Bataan Death March, and it happened back in 1942 in the Philippines. This is one of the darkest parts about the war that nobody really talks about. American and Filipino soldiers surrendered to the Japanese in the Philippines, and they were taken as prisoners of war. During this time, they were forced to march 65 miles in the tropical heat. Just a reminder, this is what the Philippines looked like in the 1940s. It was so hot. There was no food, there was no water for them, there was no rest for them. The brutal thing about this is if they stopped walking, they would be ended. Soldiers were shot, they were beaten, and some collapsed from exhaustion and were left to just die in the dirt. Others were executed just because they asked for water. And very sadly, over 10,000 people died in that march. This was a war crime that was so horrific that generals responsible for it were tried after the war ended. This historical event perfectly mirrors Stephen King's story. When I'm looking at all this stuff for The Long Walk, I'm thinking this isn't just a movie. This is drawing from real historical trauma. This is not some dystopian thing. This really happened. Follow for more.
That is horrific. Shout outs to my POWs. Yo, shout outs to Grace Michelik.
How would they know? Are 5G towers trapping your consciousness? 5G towers are being created in the same pattern as the flower of life. The flower of life is not just a geometric shape. As you already know, the universe is a mental construct. All creation begins as thought, then manifests into physical reality. We basically live in a giant web, an ether field of thoughts. This symbol represents the interconnectedness of thoughts. A thought of a chair leads to the thought of a table, the thought of a table leads to the thought of food. Everything is interconnected, even thoughts. This symbol represents the web of the mental plane, the web of consciousness, and how everything is interconnected in the universe. One thought, one action can influence the whole. Now, this is what I find creepy. 5G towers are being made in the flower of life. Maybe this is to create an artificial web. Could this be an attempt to create an artificial web of thoughts where they will be able to pick up on our thoughts and transmit thoughts through this grid? Basically an artificial version of what the universe actually is, a field of thought. Now, I'm not making statements, but this is what I'm seeing.
Jason was literally a special needs child who literally was bullied his entire life and was pushed into a lake and drowned by the campers that were supposed to be his fellow comrades. And the camp counselors who were supposed to be watching him weren't even watching him. Instead, they was too busy getting busy in the cabins. And all Jason was trying to do was have a good little fun camp experience. And look where it got him. Bullied and dead. So first of all, can you even blame his mom for going on a killing spree and trying to take out everybody at the camp? Then apparently Jason didn't even die, or he probably just got resurrected through the water or something. The only person who ever really cared about him, the only person he knew that actually was concerned about his well-being, he sees her get decapitated right in front of him by one of the counselors that was supposed to be watching him before he drowned. It's like, at this point, how can you people really just think that he's just this badass evil killer guy? Bro, Jason is a child, a traumatized child in a hulking monstrous mass of a body. This is a child with massive trust issues, and he's constantly killing people because he thinks, oh, they're gonna try to kill me first anyway. He's still in a childlike way of thinking, so he also thinks everybody around him is just like the kids that bullied him and the camp counselors that weren't watching him and killed his mom. So now, after any sign of human presence, he just wants to fucking annihilate you. So you'll... Jason...
Enough said. Shout out to Quantum Creation. He needs to be a therapist. Yo, he's absolutely right. Jason is just a kid who's been through some heavy trauma, probably the heaviest. He overcame death and watched him take away his love. This guy's right.
Wouldn't it be wild if Russia had a nuclear submarine parked in the same place where that 8.8 earthquake took place? Yes, that same peninsula where this submarine carried up to 16 nuclear-tipped missiles. So the question is, was that an earthquake or something else? Wouldn't it also be wild in Hawaii, where they had the tsunami warning, Oprah didn't open up her private road for residents to flee to get to higher ground?
Look at this. I think they're trying to open Oprah's road.
Reports say they eventually opened up the road. Maybe she was pressured to do so, but are we surprised? But it would be even more wild, that phrase that kept thrown around saying higher ground is the safe way to go, higher ground, higher ground. What if Obama showed you this before it happened? Yeah, that's because Barack and Michelle Obama's production company is called the same name, Higher Ground Productions, in which they produced this movie. If you guys remember, Leave the World Behind came out in 2023. The very next year, everything that happened in the movie happened in real life. And if you haven't seen this movie, it's about a world-ending scenario where there's blackouts and Teslas crashings and boats crashings and bombs going off. You get the idea. And speaking of higher ground, New York City has just declared a state of emergency due to the floods. You guys, what is going on with the weather? I've never seen this many floods in this short amount of time ever. And if all that is not enough, guess what? The Illuminati card game strikes again with the earthquake projector card. I'm still trying to figure out how this game predicted everything that happened within the last 30 years. And last, but definitely not least, a volcano erupted after that 8.8 earthquake. Now, what I've heard for the month of August, I heard there's gonna be more rolling blackouts, earthquakes, floods, so make sure you guys are staying prepared. I do have a book on a societal collapse scenario, so make sure you guys get that, but what do you guys think is going on? Let me know below.
There go that card game again. He's absolutely on point. Absolutely on point. Go figure. Higher Ground Productions, right? Dang, bruh. Makes me want to go see that movie again as well. I ain't gonna cap.
So they're saying that one person is dead and 22 people are sick from Legionnaire disease in Harlem. And if you don't know about Legionnaire disease, it's not a disease that spreads from person to person. It's a bacteria that spreads like mist. So this bacteria is often found in water. And it usually hides in cooling towers on the top of buildings. The same cooling towers that gives building air conditioning, which means the mist from those air conditioners spreads throughout people. And that's how Legionnaire disease goes from person to person. So basically, you can be walking past one of these places and take a deep breath, and that bacteria can go into your lungs and you're infected. And this infection is sort of like pneumonia. And when some people acquire this bacteria, they don't make it. So if you're having pain in your chest, diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting, fevers or chills, you might need to go see a doctor. Because again, 22 people are sick and one person has already lost their life. And of course, we're talking about New York City. We're talking about Harlem. That means that there's a lot of people walking around through these areas and they don't even know this is happening. Pay attention.
Yo, that's crazy. I could definitely see it with the water towers on top of them buildings, especially in this heat. Shout out to Expensive Talk. He's absolutely right. Pay attention.
If you see one of these hanging from someone's bag, run. Oh, sorry, I meant these. Turns out they might be kinda demonic, so this is everything you need to know about the Labubu demon theory in 1 minute. These collectible toys called Labubus have been going crazy viral after a few celebrities were seen hanging them off their purses, and so everyone wanted one. They are these weird stuffed creatures with sharp teeth, evil grins, and angry-looking eyes that can also be red. Not suspicious at all, right? Then many people came out online saying weird shit started happening right after they bought theirs. Stories of objects moving around their house, waking up with scratches, getting sick, and experiencing chest pains. One girl claimed she saw the eyes change color and this smile get wider. Another got in a car accident shortly after buying one. Either way, everyone just felt a creepy, unsettling presence around these toys for some reason. Well, now similarities are being drawn between the name Labubu and a demonic deity from Babylonian mythology called Pazuzu, who's known as the King of the Demons and is often depicted with animal features, sharp teeth, a grinning smile, and long ears. Looks familiar, and people got so spooked they started burning theirs and throwing them out of fear. And of course, Simpsons already called it over 7 years ago in an episode where Homer buys a literal Pazuzu toy for Maggie and she gets possessed. Celebrities endorsing behavior with weird demonic undertones marketed towards the youth has disturbingly become just another Tuesday in the 21st century. I do not claim any of this negative energy, and don't worry, neither do you. If you
6 or more hurricanes at the same exact time, how am I even seeing this? Of course, as the entire Earth is flooding right now, we're getting things like this. And yes, this model is a few weeks away, and yes, it's a Euro model. But the fact that we'd even think of showing such a large amount of hurricanes at the same exact time. Meanwhile, meteorologists have been warning us for months about not being able to track and predict hurricanes and things like that. And by the way, when I say the whole Earth is flooding, I mean the whole Earth is flooding. This is a desert that got a whole year worth of rain in 6 hours yesterday. Which seems awfully revelatory. Everywhere. Be quiet, we know. Or like a plague. This is China. Again, record-breaking flooding happening every single day. By the way, 1000% unrelated, check out these really cool clouds in Australia. You ever seen anything like that before? Don't forget my research on temperature anomalies and temperature over the last couple hundred years showing a major shift this year equaling major hurricanes. And of course a 2-hour lunar eclipse coming in a few months, which has a lot to do with density. Hey, y'all remember that movie where all those hurricanes mixed in one giant one? Yeah, me too.
And that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed the deep dive. If you enjoyed this video, please consider to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Shout outs to the reactors. Thanks again. Till next time.